Imagine logging into a massive multiplayer game,
Okay.
right? Millions of people are just desperately trying to become billionaire superheroes.
Yeah, as fast as humanly possible.
Exactly. Everyone is sprinting, they're obsessively mashing buttons, chugging energy drinks at 2 in the morning, and it's all just to see a flashing level up screen or, to gamble for one impossibly rare item drop.
It's an adrenaline economy, really.
Right. But then there is you. You log in, you completely ignore the dragons, you ignore the billionaires, and you decide your ultimate goal is to become a completely average, highly disciplined blacksmith.
Which, I mean, it sounds absurd when you put it that way.
It really does.
But you're describing a complete rejection of the modern gaming mindset. Games today are meticulously designed to give players these massive, volatile spikes of excitement.
Like a slot machine.
Exactly like a slot machine. And the player base essentially becomes addicted to just chasing the next spike.
Well, today, we are looking at a deeply unconventional approach to the classic online game, Runescape. We've got a stack of notes here detailing a specific player philosophy.
Yeah, a persona referred to as Kenny.
Right, Kenny. And to be clear, right up front, we aren't here to give you a gaming guide. We are not going to teach you how to optimize your damage output or whatever.
No, definitely not.
What we are looking at is a blueprint for discipline. It's about treating a virtual world not as this frantic playground, but as a blue-collar simulation of integrity.
Which is such a fascinating lens, don't you think? Because most people play games for escapism.
Yeah, to get away from work.
Right, you want a break from reality. Or maybe you want a quick hit of success that you can't quite manage to grasp in your actual job.
Makes sense.
But this Kenny persona actively chooses structure over chaos. He is deliberately replacing those lucky wins with repeatable systems.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because the mission for this deep dive is to figure out how adopting this hyper-structured, virtual blue-collar mindset can completely change how you, the person listening to this right now, approach your own real-world goals.
And your daily routines, yeah.
But to really understand how this works, we kind of have to start at level 1.
The very beginning.
Right. If you were completely rejecting standard speed-obsessed efficiency, how do you even begin?
Well, you start by locking down your environment with non-negotiable rules.
Okay.
Because without strict boundaries, human nature just defaults to whatever is easiest or whatever is most exciting in the moment.
So true.
So in the early stages of this journey, what we can call phase 1, which covers levels 1 through 30, the primary goal has absolutely nothing to do with getting powerful quickly.
Then what is the focus?
The sole objective is self-sufficiency, zero dependency, and no gimmicks.
Help me visualize that, though. What does zero dependency actually look like in a game where, you can just buy anything you want from other players?
It looks like building engines instead of chasing numbers. Let's say Kenny needs a new sword.
Right.
A normal player just goes to the game's global market, buys the sword, and goes back to fighting.
The easy way.
Right. But Kenny doesn't do that. First, he goes to a mine. He manually mines raw copper and tin ore.
Oh, wow.
Then he walks to a furnace and smelts that ore into bronze bars. Then he goes to an anvil and physically smiths those bars into a bronze sword.
So it's a completely closed loop.
Entirely closed. And it extends to survival, too. He goes to the coast and fishes for shrimp. He chops down a tree, builds a fire, and cooks the shrimp.
Doing everything himself.
Exactly. Only then does he take his self-made sword and his self-caught food to go fight low-level enemies like cows and goblins.
That is wild.
Mining feeds smithing, fishing feeds cooking, cooking feeds combat. There is zero wasted motion.
Reading about this earlier, it instantly reminded me of cooking a meal entirely from scratch.
Oh, that's a great comparison.
Like making your own pasta dough, maybe even growing your own basil in the window, versus just ordering fast food on an app.
Right. Getting Uber Eats is way faster.
Exactly. Cooking from scratch is incredibly slow.
Yeah.
If your only goal is just to consume calories quickly, it's a terrible use of time.
Yeah. Highly inefficient.
But there is a profound satisfaction in owning the entire process, isn't there?
That ownership is key. And he even maps this philosophy onto the actual geography of the game world.
Wait, really?
Yeah, the locations aren't just waypoints to fast travel between. They represent the geography of an identity.
Yes, I wanted to ask about that. In the notes, it mentions the starting town, Lumbridge. That represents foundational discipline, right?
Exactly. And Vorok, the main city, is structured commerce.
And then Falador and the Dwarven Mine these areas are treated as the philosophical homes of labor and craftsmanship.
Yeah, it's actually a psychological concept called spatial anchoring.
Spatial anchoring.
By assigning a core value to a specific location, you create a mental framework. So when he walks into the Dwarven mine, he isn't just a gamer mindlessly clicking on rocks while watching a movie on a second monitor.
Right. He's fully present.
He is adopting an industrial blue-collar mindset. The space itself demands a specific behavior.
I hear that, but I have to push back here a little bit.
Go ahead.
Let's look at the reality of this. If I have limited free time after work, why would I manually mine ore for hours when I could just use a quick workaround?
Well, the rulebook for this playstyle explicitly forbids what gamers call cheese methods.
Right, the whole clean inventory, clean mind rule. But it forbids high-risk market flipping and forbids relying on lucky item drops.
Yeah, the mantra is stability is moral, volatility is noise.
But isn't spending 10 hours doing something you could theoretically do in 1 hour the exact opposite of efficiency? Doesn't this just turn a game into a literal chore?
That depends entirely on how you define efficiency.
Okay, how so?
To a normal player, efficiency means getting to the end screen as fast as possible. But to Kenny, efficiency means building a foundation that will never collapse.
I see.
Let's break down those terms. A cheese method in gaming is when you exploit a design flaw to bypass a challenge.
Like standing on a specific rock where the boss can't reach you.
Exactly. So you can just slowly shoot it with arrows. You win, sure, but you didn't actually learn the mechanics.
You cheated the system, essentially.
Right. And market flipping is basically just day trading virtual items. It's highly volatile.
And what about the lucky drops?
That's RNG, or random number generation. That's just a slot machine. If your success relies on pulling a lever and hoping the game randomly gives you a rare sword, your foundation is incredibly brittle.
Because you can't control it.
Exactly. What happens when your luck runs out? You get frustrated, you get angry, and you quit.
Ah, I see. So by forcing himself to slowly earn the gold for a reliable piece of gear, like, say, a standard rune pickaxe, he's immunizing himself against bad luck.
You nailed it. There is a guiding philosophy here, which is every action is a design decision.
Every action is a design decision.
Yes. When you take a shortcut, you are actively designing a weak system. By avoiding the slot machine entirely, Kenny creates an identity based on stability.
And to maintain that stability, he enforces that rule. Clean inventory, clean mind.
Right. The bank must be perfectly organized. Order equals clarity.
It's like a physical workspace.
Exactly like that. A messy desk usually reflects a chaotic, overwhelmed mind.
Okay, so you have spent dozens of hours manually building this flawless closed-loop foundation. You have your clean inventory.
Yep.
But foundations are meant to carry weight. How does he scale this up without the whole system just collapsing into chaos? Because that seems to be the breaking point for most people.
That brings us to the most crucial pivot in this entire philosophy. It's how Kenny redefines the mid-game.
Because normally the mid-game is all about power, right?
In almost every video game, yes. You reach level 50, you unlock a massive new spell, or you gain access to a tough new dungeon. But Kenny rejects that entirely. For him, the mid-game has absolutely nothing to do with power.
Then what is it?
The mid-game is simply the state where his systems run without friction.
Without friction. So it's an operational state, not a stat sheet.
Exactly.
But looking at the parameters for reaching this state in the notes, I was actually shocked by the time constraints.
The daily limits.
Yeah. The philosophy dictates a strict time limit of 1.5 to 2.5 hours a day. That's only about 10 to 15 hours a week.
No 8-hour binge sessions allowed.
Right. But if the goal is to build this massive, unshakable system, why not just grind for 12 hours on a Saturday and get the tedious foundation out of the way?
Because life is maintenance, not burnout.
Oh, wow.
We see this all the time in the real world, right? Someone decides to learn a new language or maybe start a new fitness routine.
And they go completely all in.
They go all in. They study for 6 hours a day for a Went, completely exhaust themselves, and then they never touch the app again.
I am definitely guilty of that.
Most of us are. But by strictly limiting his playtime, Kenny ensures he always leaves the game wanting to do just a little bit more. He is actively engineering consistency over intensity.
That is painfully relatable. So what does this frictionless state actually look like in the game? What are the metrics?
The metrics are very specific, but they are all geared toward operational freedom. It means hitting base level 50s in his core skills and level 60 in combat stats.
Okay.
It means wearing a reliable standard set of rune armor, But the most important metric is financial.
Having a stable bank.
Yeah, having a stable bank of 500,000 to 1 million gold.
But the catch is how that gold is earned, right? He can't just get lucky.
Correct. That gold has to be generated through honest, predictable, repetitive work.
Like the mining.
Exactly. Mining iron and coal. Fishing for trout and salmon.
Yeah.
If you earn 500K gold through a lucky item drop, you haven't actually learned how to generate wealth.
You just got a handout.
Exactly. But if you earn 500K gold by mining thousands of pieces of coal, you have built an industrial engine.
You know exactly how to do it again.
Right. You never have to panic about buying basic supplies ever again because you know exactly how to fund yourself.
Even the way he approaches quests completely subverts normal gameplay.
Oh, absolutely.
Usually, players do quests to get, like, a flashy cape or a massive glowing sword to show off in the main city.
Yeah, purely for the prestige.
But Kenny does quests purely for utility. There is a quest mentioned in the source called the Knight's Sword, which is highlighted as peak Kenny behavior.
It's highly practical.
Right? It grants experience in smithing, and it fits that industrial blue-collar theme perfectly.
He also completes a quest to unlock a dwarf cannon.
Yeah, but he doesn't unlock it to just go blow things up for fun.
No, not at all.
He unlocks it strictly to improve efficiency later down the line, for when he needs to train his Slayer skill. Everything has a downstream mechanical purpose.
And combat is treated the exact same way.
Really?
Yeah, combat isn't about the ego of taking down a massive dragon. Combat supports the economic system.
So you fight cows to harvest hides for your crafting skill.
Right, and you fight chickens for feathers to sustain your fishing loop. Boss fights are delayed for months.
Wow.
And when he finally does engage a boss, it's something highly structured and predictable, like the mid-tier giants, Obor or Bryophyta, no chaotic mechanics, no panic.
Let's put this into perspective with some timelines. To reach this state of mid-game frictionlessness, it takes his persona about 60 to 90 hours of methodical gameplay.
Which is pretty substantial.
Right. And an efficiency-obsessed player, someone following the established meta-guides on YouTube, they will blast their way to the mid-game in 40 to 70 hours.
Much faster.
And then a casual, unstructured player usually wanders around for 100 to 200 hours before getting there. So Kenny sits right in the middle mathematically.
Mathematically, yes.
But psychologically, it seems like a completely different universe.
Psychologically, the difference is staggering. This is the hidden advantage of the philosophy. When the hyper-efficient players hit the mid-game, they usually hit a massive wall.
Because they rushed.
They rushed so fast, relying on shortcuts and guides, that they didn't actually build any solid habits. So they arrive at the mid-game and suddenly feel lost and directionless.
They don't know what to do without a guide.
Exactly. They burn all their fuel just trying to get to orbit, and once they're there, they're just drifting in space.
Meanwhile, Kenny hits the 90-hour mark.
Yeah.
And he's not drifting at all.
Not at all. He feels grounded. He feels purpose-driven.
Because he actually built the engine himself.
Because he didn't just build a video game character, right? He built a routine. There is a phrase from the notes that encapsulates this perfectly. You don't rise to goals, you fall to systems.
Oh, you don't rise to goals, you fall to systems. I need to write that down.
It's a great quote.
It is absolutely true. When your initial motivation fades, whatever systems you have running in the background are what will actually catch you.
Exactly.
If your system is chaotic, your mid-game will be chaotic no matter how fast you sprinted to get there. Yep. Which logically leads us to the biggest question. What happens next?
The end game.
Right. If you aren't chasing the ultimate final boss, and you aren't trying to become the wealthiest player on the server, what exactly does winning look like?
Well, in a traditional sense, there is no winning.
No winning.
No, but there is an evolution. The philosophy refers to this final stage as the industrial endgame.
The industrial endgame.
It is a shift from stabilizing your systems to refining them into a permanent, unbreakable legacy.
How does that look in practice, though? We talked about those simple closed loops, like mining ore to make a sword to fight a goblin. Does he just keep doing that forever?
No, the systems have to evolve to handle late-game demands. We move from simple closed loops to what is called system layering.
System layering, okay.
This is where it gets highly sophisticated. Instead of running one system at a time, you design systems that run concurrently.
So, multitasking.
Better than multitasking. It's delegation.
Okay, give me an example.
So he will engage in active combat using a skill called Slayer, which generates immediate gold and useful resources.
Right.
While he is doing that active labor, he has a farming system running in the background, growing crops that will yield passive income later.
Oh, smart.
And simultaneously, he uses the gold from his combat to fund a management system called the Kingdom of Miscellanea.
What's that?
It's a system where he literally pays a virtual workforce to mine coal and chop wood for him while he's off doing other things.
Oh, wow. He essentially becomes the CEO of his own virtual economy.
Exactly. His active labor directly funds his passive income, which then feeds back into his active labor. It's a clockwork machine.
And to support a machine like that, the infrastructure has to be flawless.
Absolutely flawless.
I was actually amazed by how the concept of the player-owned house is treated in the source material.
Oh, it's so different from how normal players use it.
Right. In a lot of games, you buy a house to decorate it, maybe throw parties, show off to your friends.
Yeah, it's cosmetic.
But Kenny builds a house strictly as a teleport hub and a high-efficiency utility center. No unnecessary decorations.
And even his bank interface is perfectly organized by system. He sets up specific visual tabs for combat gear, for skilling outfits, for raw resources.
Everything has a place.
And the guiding principle behind that rigid organization is this: order creates efficiency without forcing it.
Order creates efficiency without forcing it. I like that.
If your environment is perfectly tailored to the task at hand, doing the right thing becomes the path of least resistance.
That makes total sense.
You don't need to muster up immense willpower to be efficient if your infrastructure naturally guides your hand toward efficiency.
Okay, here's where my mind really got blown.
Uh-oh.
In RuneScape, the ultimate badge of honor for a hardcore player is getting a skill to level 99.
Yeah, that's the big one.
Many players dedicate literally years of their lives to getting a max cape, which means hitting level 99 in every single skill in the game.
It's a massive grind.
But Kenny explicitly rejects this. He only plans to get 4 to 7 99s in total.
Right.
Why stop? I mean, if he loves the grind so much, why not just max out?
To understand why he rejects it, you really have to understand what getting a 99 actually requires. It is not just playing the game a lot.
Okay.
For standard players trying to be hyper-efficient, reaching 99 requires using methods like tick manipulation.
Break that down for me. What is tick manipulation?
So the game runs on an internal server clock. Every 0.6 seconds is one tick.
Got it.
Players figured out that by exploiting this clock, they could speed up their characters' animations to gather resources faster.
Okay. Seems logical if you want to be fast.
But doing it requires intense, flawless, rapid-fire clicking on multiple different items in a specific sequence over and over for hundreds of hours.
That sounds exhausting.
It literally gives people carpal tunnel syndrome. It is physically and mentally agonizing.
Just to make a number go to 99 slightly faster.
Yes. It is efficiency at the absolute cost of physical health and mental sanity. It is the ultimate cheese method.
And Kenny rejects that.
Kenny looks at that and says, absolutely not. A level 99 has to align with his core identity. It cannot be an empty flex.
So what does he actually prioritize?
Mining. Achieving 99 mining is considered the blue-collar crown.
Because it's hard work.
Because it requires hundreds of hours of slow, honest, rhythmic work, no manipulation, just labor.
What else?
Next is smithing, which is highly symbolic. It represents turning raw earth into refined value.
Oh, I like that.
And fishing, because fishing is the epitome of calm, sustainable stability.
So he places value on the integrity of the process rather than the prestige of the reward.
Exactly.
And you see this exact same mindset in the items he cherishes most. If you ask a high-level gamer what their favorite item is, they will usually show you a glowing staff that drops from a raid boss, like one time in 5,000 kills.
Yeah, the lottery ticket items.
But Kenny's prized possessions are profoundly different. He values his Barrow's gloves.
Oh, the Barrow's gloves.
Yeah, because you can't buy them.
Yeah.
And you can't get lucky to find them. You have to complete this massive, game-spanning series of quests just to earn them. They are literal proof of discipline.
They represent a completed system.
Exactly. Or he values a self-made set of rune armor. But the one that really got me, he keeps that original basic rune pickaxe that he slowly saved up for in the early game.
The very first one.
Yeah. He refuses to get rid of it. He keeps it in his bank because he never wants to forget where his foundation started.
Think about the psychological resilience of that mindset.
It's incredible.
If you are a normal player who relies on slot machine drops and you fight a boss 500 times without getting the item you want, you feel cheated by the universe.
You feel like the game owes you.
Right, and you become bitter. But Kenny doesn't care about the lottery. So he never feels cheated. His success is entirely within his own control.
It really highlights the difference between running a casino and running a well-oiled, real-world workshop.
That's a perfect analogy.
Most gamers want to be the prophesied hero who saves the world with a magical sword.
Yeah, the main character syndrome.
Right. But Kenny just wants to be the guy who keeps the lights on, the guy who knows exactly where every single tool is hanging on the pegboard.
Exactly.
But if he is not fighting the final boss, and he's not maxing out every skill, does he ever actually beat the game? Like, is there an end point?
Well, that workshop analogy answers your own question, really.
How so?
Does a master carpenter ever truly beat woodworking? Does a mechanic ever beat fixing engines?
Oh. No, they don't.
No. The work is the point. The ultimate goal of the industrial endgame is simply the account that never decays.
The account that never decays. Wow.
You log in, you run a system, maybe you tend to your crops, maybe you check on your kingdom's resources, maybe you mine some coal, you maintain the structure, and then you log out.
There is no manufactured urgency at all.
None. There is no pressure to compete with anyone else. When asked what his greatest achievement in the game is, Kenny doesn't point to a boss kill.
What does he say?
His answer is simply, nothing broke, no burnout, no chaotic decision-making, no identity drift.
Nothing broke. That hits so hard because, well, in the real world, things break all the time.
They really do.
We burn ourselves out trying to be hyper-efficient. We lose focus. We constantly drift away from our core values because we are chasing whatever the newest, shiniest object is on social media or in our careers.
Which is exactly why this weird, obscure gaming philosophy matters to the rest of us.
Right.
Whether you are prepping for a major corporate presentation, trying to organize a sprawling creative project, or just attempting to get your daily health routine on track, the lesson is exactly the same.
Stop looking for the cheese methods.
Exactly. Stop looking for the cheese methods in your own life. Stop hoping for a lucky RNG drop to suddenly solve all your problems. You have to do the slow, honest work of building a foundation.
It's about recognizing that every single action you take today is a design decision for your future self. Building something worthy isn't about how fast you can sprint to the finish line.
No, it's about the intention behind every step.
Look at your daily routines, not as a list of tedious chores, but as the infrastructure of your identity.
Are you building a casino, relying on massive spikes of adrenaline to get things done? Or are you building a workshop where order creates efficiency naturally and everything you do feeds into a larger, stable purpose?
Which leaves us with one final lingering thought. There is a concept from this playstyle called the final frame.
It's an incredible exercise in perspective.
It really is. I want you to think about your own daily routine today, from the moment your alarm went off to right now.
Just mentally review it.
Yeah. If someone were to watch a 2-hour recording of your life's gameplay today, what would they assume your core identity is?
That's a tough question.
Would they see a series of frantic, chaotic actions, just mashing buttons and chasing quick dopamine rewards? Or would they look at the way you operate and say, wow, everything they do connects. It's simple, but it's incredibly solid.
The account that never decays.
Exactly. The next time you are tempted to sprint toward a flashing level-up screen in your own life, take a breath and ask yourself, are you building a foundation that will last? Or are you just chasing the noise?